Clair Obscur Expedition 33. What a game, man. What a game. It's honestly one of the most engaging games I've ever played. The haunting world, the characters, the music, the painted art style, the immersive environments, and the voice acting, and especially the combat mechanics. But I don't want to just throw praise at it and move on. I want to dig deeper, talk about what worked for me and what didn't, and why this game hit so hard. But before all that, let's talk about where I come from as a turn-based player. Back in the day, I played a ton of turn-based games on the Game Boy Advance. But over the time, I grew out of it. Or at least I thought I did. For years, I didn't touch any turn-based games at all. Then came the release of Baldur's Gate 3. Now, you might think this is where I say BG3 brought me back. But no. Despite how incredible that game is with its top-tier writing and voice acting and gameplay, I just never connected with the D&D mechanics. I'm simply not the target audience. Around the same time, I discovered a very different game, Fear and Hunger. And that is the one that pulled me back into the genre. Why did I connect with Fear and Hunger more than BG3? Because it was darker, more hopeless. Its story isn't about heroes. It's about lost souls who stumbled into something horrific and unknowable. It's bleak, it's punishing, but it's also unforgettable. That descent into the depths, into madness and dread, was nothing I've ever experienced before. And I just can't help but to think, but draw parallels between Fear and Hunger and Expedition 33. Both share a grim and doomed world. Maybe that factor is what I resonated more. Maybe there is a tiny hint, but I just can't prove it. With that said, I think it's time to talk about Expedition 33. And just a heads up, this video will contain spoilers. If you haven't played the game yet and want to go blind, I highly recommend doing that first. This game is best experienced without knowing too much. Still here? Alright, let's dive in. Expedition 33 revolves around turn-based combat. But there is a twist that stands out. The game introduces dodge and parry mechanic that completely changes how battle feels. Unlike most turn-based games, where your character just stands there and eats a hit, you actually have to work for it to avoid damage. When an enemy attacks, you are not passive. You time your dodge or parry manually. If you get the timing right, you can evade or deflect the attack entirely and do a counter-attack. But if you mess it up, you take the hit. Simple as that. And that's what I love. Timing is everything in this game. Nail your reactions, and you can come out of the fight completely unscathed. Miss your timing, and the game punishes you for it. It keeps you alert, it keeps you involved, and it makes every encounter feels tense and rewarding. The reading and learning enemy movements and the attack patterns is crucial in this game. Analyzing audio and visual cues to either dodge or parry. But here's the thing, some enemies, it genuinely feels like they take 3 to 4 business days to finish a single attack animation. And that's where the real trouble kicks in, the unpredictability. You can't just mash, dodge or parry. If you react too early, you miss the timing. And if you wait for too long, you are eating damage. And honestly, it's a smart game design. If every single attack were easy to dodge or parry, it would strip away all the tension. There will be no challenge left. That split-second hesitation, is it now or now? That's what keeps the combat from becoming a routine. It demands your focus. The whole idea of work for it, that's something I really appreciate in games. No hand-holding, no drawn-out tutorials, just throw me into the world and let me figure it out. Expedition 33 does it beautifully. Take the Pictos, for example. When I first acquired one, the game didn't immediately stop everything and dragged me into the pause menu to equip it. Instead, it left it up to me. I was curious. I opened the pause menu, clicked around, and that's where the system revealed itself. It didn't yell at me. It didn't throw pop-ups. It simply trusted that I would explore. And when I did, I found all these layers, different pictos, loadouts, abilities, skill trees. It felt organic, like the game was rewarding me for paying attention. With the help of the pictos, you can create a variety of builds. And I have seen some absolutely insane setups that deals ridiculous damage. And that's what I call depth. The kind of depth that doesn't just come from numbers or stats, but from how flexible and open-ended the system really is. You want to focus on crit? There is a build for that. You want to stack defense and just never die? Go for it. It's all there if you are willing to experiment. Later in the game, your pictos can be converted into Lumiere passives, which grants you powerful stat boost and unique bonuses. These passives can let you act twice in a row, boost your damage, or even amplify healing and defense. Not every picto must become a passive. Players have agency in choosing to retain, upgrade, or combine them, which deepens the strategic layer. It's a deep system that gives you more control over your build and rewards players who like experimenting and optimizing their party setup. It's not just about collecting power, it's about shaping it into something that fits your playstyle. That's a good RPG design. When I said I love the characters, I meant it, both in how beautifully they are modeled and how the voice actors breathe life into them. Lune is easily my favorite. And not for the reason you might be thinking. No, it's not about her feet. It's her face, her expression, her presence. That's beauty. And it's not just her. Mayal, Ciel, and even the side characters. They all feel so thoughtfully crafted. There is a grace, a strength, and a style to them that really feels and stands out. What I respect most that the developers didn't compromise on their artistic vision. They didn't chase trends or try to tick boxes. Instead, they focus on creating a world and cast that feels both captivating and true to their nature. You can tell this game was made with creativity and passion, and that love shows in every single detail from the characters to environments to the music. I really enjoy playing as Lune during exploration. She floats around instead of running like other characters, and it just feels elegant.
Eleganto! Very eleganto!
During one of the side exploration sections, I came across a beach area. If you complete the challenges there, whether it's platforming or this weird parry volleyball minigame, you unlock swimsuits for the characters. Now, as much as I love the combat in this game, I really do, but it's hard to say the same thing about platforming. The climbing feels stiff, and sometimes you are asked to do ridiculous things like climb this crooked bench at a weird angle. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone here. Many players have fallen victim to these awkward climbing sections. If the climbing mechanic were more polished, I might have appreciated it, but personally, I'm just fatigued by climbing in the game. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, the new God of War, it's just not fun anymore. And Expedition 33 didn't change my mind. The volleyball minigame is the same story. You are supposed to parry these floating balls by hitting them with the attack button at the right time from the right position, and yeah, I get it. This minigame is about timing, but it just doesn't fit. The final round was genuinely hard. After multiple attempts, I just didn't feel like doing it anymore. I have seen people beat it, and good for them. But I don't have the patience for this hard minigame built on an unpolished mechanic. And the reward is swimsuit costume. Honestly, that's not worth the hassle for me. So yeah, I refuse to climb that weird structure and I hate that volleyball minigame. Sorry Ciel, you are not getting that bikini. Maybe in the next playthrough, Ciel? Or maybe never. Yeah, probably never. Okay, I'll admit, I did unlock Lune's swimsuit. And if you think I'm the kind of guy who's gonna make a woman run around in her underwear, you are sorely mistaken. Hey, listen, man, it's for mobility. Yeah, come on, man, come on. Anyways, let's talk about the art style. Absolutely stunning. The visuals are top tier, and each area has its own unique color palette. The gestural village looks nothing like the Axion territories. The underwater zone completely different vibes. The beach filled with swords. Every area in this game is distinguishable. The color palette complements this. Things like this helps you understand of your surroundings. If everything was made of the same color palette, then this would feel stale and dull. You don't need a minimap constantly yelling at you. You just know where you are. Great view all around. And yes, I'm talking about the sunset. And maybe Luna's butt. But mostly the sunset. Probably. What truly elevates Expedition 33's storytelling isn't just the voice acting, though that's already stellar, it's the body language. Gustav, for example, doesn't need to speak to you to know what he is feeling, whether it's a subtle glance, a heavy sigh, or that restrained tension in his posture. His expression carries just as much as weight as his dialogues. The script writing also deserves praise. The tone doesn't stick to one mood, it shifts with emotional intelligence. One moment, it's heavy and threatening, and the next, it breaks into something goofy, sincere, or downright adorable. These tonal shifts don't just feel jarring, they feel human, because Expedition 33 understands that even in the face of cosmic annihilation, people joke, stumble, flirt, and laugh. And sometimes that contrast is what hits the hardest. I am not a person who understands music, but I know a good music when I hear one. I am a huge fanatic when it comes to video game soundtracks, and Expedition 33 seriously delivered. The OST is phenomenal across the board. From the intense battle themes that gets your blood pumping to the heart-wrenching soundtracks where Sophie gets gouged or Gustav dies, they don't just accompany the scene, they define it. And that second Renoir fight theme, absolute peak, absolute cinema. It's the kind of soundtrack that keeps you looped for hours because it carries that perfect blend of urgency, scale, and emotion. I can't even express how good some of these are. They are not just background music, they are part of the experience, woven into the DNA of every emotional high and low. If you are someone who listens to game OST outside of gameplay, this one is going in your playlist. No question. The prologue and the first act focus on Gustav. The story starts simple. At first, I have no clue what Gustav and Mael are talking about. The festival seems like some kind of celebration, and that's what I thought anyways. I followed Mael through rooftops, and she mentioned Sophie getting gouged. I don't know what that means. I have no clue what's that supposed to mean at this point. But as the player, you start to gather that Sophie and Gustav were close. Their interactions and the voice acting are so powerful enough to convey that bond. Then the gommage happens. Everyone who's 33 years old gets wiped out instantly, like Thanos snapping his fingers and erasing half of the population. I barely know these characters. I'm only 25 minutes in, and I'm already tearing up. The Expedition 33 sets out to stop the gommage, but instead gets wiped out by this unknown old man. He looks a bit like Pierce Brosnan, so I'll call him Pierce for now. Somehow, Gustav survives and pushes forward, only to witness fallen comrades, stacked corpse after corpse. Gustav feels defeated here, the weight of loss heavy on his shoulders. He even contemplates ending it all. But then, the best character in the game stops him. Lune.
You do that. We both die.
You know, if you want to represent a strong, good female character, Lune is the perfect example. And no, this isn't me just simping. Her strong presence and determination shines through. She thinks clearly about the situation and how to best navigate it. She is the brains of this expedition, But that doesn't mean she's all serious. She smiles, she gets angry, she gets excited. Overall, she's a well-written character. And I got a great impression from the start. After Gustav and Lune reunite with Mael and meet the curator, a silent, faceless being whose cracked mask hides an expressionless face. The game expands slowly. I'm starting to get the hang of the combat, trying to understand how every damage type matters, like how burn damage lingers and chips away health every turn. The game truly shines when character relax at camp, sharing calm and peaceful moments. Do you want to spend some time with Lou? Say no more. Obviously, ain't gonna say no to that. But these interactions serves a real purpose. It's the relationship level mechanic, which is integral for emotional storytelling and gameplay depth, enriching the experience by making you care about your characters and the unfolding narrative. Stronger relationship grants tactical advantage in combat and sometimes cosmetic rewards. When I reached the gestural village, I noticed a kid with the same broken face as the curator. He appears a lot in other places too, making me wonder who this kid really is. I met Ciel there, another expedition member who survived the beach attack. To be honest, I never played much as her because combat revolves around 3 characters per fight. If you have more, they automatically shift into the second team. I was getting the hang of Gustav, Lune, and Mael, so I never felt the need to switch to Ciel. She's a great character with compassion and understanding, but I haven't explored her sun and moon attacks much. And the same goes for Monaco too.
Ladies, could I?
Mael starts having these nightmares, but can't piece together what they mean altogether. That leaves the player with more questions. However, as she sees more, the situation clears up. Remember what I said earlier? It didn't yell at me. It didn't throw pop-ups. It simply trusted that I would explore. And when I did, I found all these layers, different pictos, loadouts, abilities, skill trees. It felt organic, like the game was rewarding me for paying attention. I did pay attention. I noticed Gustav doesn't have a fully unlocked skill tree like the others. Most of it is locked. But after defeating the Lamp Master, Gustav gets stabbed by Pierce Brosnan's projectile attack. My world shattered right there. I was with Gustav the whole journey, looking after Mael, spending time with Lune and Ciel. That felt heartwarming, a genuine sense of humanity, even in desperate times. Then Gustav gets pierced by Pierce. But look at the delivery here. Gustav wants Mael to run, still prioritizing her safety, while Mael's horror and disbelief don't let her admit what just happened. What's really going on? Why did Pierce kill Gustav? And when Pierce was about to attack Mael, an unknown figure come out to her rescue. The same person Mael saw in her nightmare. Verso. The second act begins, focusing on Verso, a mysterious, blank canvas of a man, appeared from nowhere. At camp, he is elusive, never oversharing his thoughts. I learned Pierce's real name is Renoir, and he is doing all this for his family, out of kindness, not cruelty. Beats me. Remember why I compared this game's dark nature to Fear and Hunger? Obviously not on that level. I saw a faint hint of that darkness when I entered the Forgotten Battlefield. That's where the game really shows its face. This world is very dark and gloomy, filled with death from past battles. Not just from the Gomage, but from the deadly Nevrons. The people of Lumiere have no choice. Either die in the battle or wait to get Gomaged. Death is inevitable. Some accept it, others fight it. I soon realized that the Nevrons in this area are stronger and harder to read, extremely difficult. That's on me. for missing an important mechanic early on. God damn it. Back to the story. The team finds a place for Gustav's funeral. I know at this point I sound like I'm blindly praising this game, but seriously, the acting is incredible. The dialogue, the verge of tears moment, and the sad music all fills the atmosphere. I won't cover every camp conversation, but the few characters we have are deeply written and the voice acting brings them to life. SKA and Monaco especially stands out. Scenes like SKA talking about the we and the woo part, or Monaco's random comments about feet, they bring me genuine smiles. Later, when Verso revealed to be Renoir's son, everything changed. No wonder he was so secretive. But what happened? Why does Renoir talk to the curator as if it's himself?
This is all you have left of your son. Destroying it won't bring your wife back. It will only destroy the last tie you have to each other.
When the party finally reached the paintress, something unexpected happened. She recognized Verso as her son. Even after her defeat, many questions remain. She also mentions Mael as Alicia, implying that Mael reminds of her daughter, Alicia. The most gut-punching moment is when Verso reads the letter from Alicia, while everyone celebrates the success of Expedition 33.
And this world, a mirror, painted by your mother, the paintress, to stave off her grief. Seeing your expedition through would plunge us all into the abyss.
Just then, the gommage occurs again, wiping everyone out. Ciel gets gommaged. No, hey, stop! Not like this! No! Lune, my favorite character. She can't go like this. No, she can't get gommaged. Lune, no. I know she is not real, but she's real to me.
No! 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 No!
And finally, Mael kneels, accepting her fate. Epilogue, where everything is revealed. Everything I witnessed was just a painted world, not the real world. The real Verso died saving Alicia from a fire. But doing that, Alicia's face was burned, leaving her unable to speak. Their parents, Eileen and Renoir, fight inside the canvas, the painted world itself. It's tragic when you think about it. These two parents are just grieving for their son. That grief might be the catalyst for all the destruction inside the canvas. The gommage, the bloodshed. The reason for the gommage was simple. The canvas needs someone to keep painting, to keep its world alive. But if the paintings ever stops, everything and everyone inside it gets wiped out. The paintress kept painting because she didn't want to lose the remaining flickers of Verso's existence. However, as years passed, her strength waned. As her power deteriorates, she couldn't no longer sustain the people inside the canvas. The gommage wasn't some cosmic annihilation or a malevolent curse. It was simply the result of unsustainable power slowly fading away. This canvas belongs to Verso, who split his soul and put a tiny bit of it into his creation. So, my earlier statement that Verso felt like a blank canvas, dead wrong. The world revolved around him as the balancing point. The paintress made a copy of Verso in her memory, an undying, tortured version of him. This being isn't truly Verso. It merely carries his face and memories. All it wants is to end its suffering. After discovering that Mael is an incarnation of Alicia in this world, everything pieced together. Renoir, up until now, was just a creation of the paintress, following her will. The real Renoir was the curator all along who helped the expedition in their journey. But Alicia wakes up with paintress's power, ash-colored hair, and the desire to restore the canvas, preserving Verso and everyone within it. Renoir makes the painful decision to destroy this world. He knows the copy of Verso doesn't belong here. He wants his family to move on. Alicia wants a lie, trying to save Verso's soul because mother and daughter can't let go. The problem wasn't the Gomage, it was the family's grief. What a mess. Alicia escapes Renoir's wrath and undoes the Gomage at the campsite, bringing back Lune and Ciel. Hey man, I'm happy. But when Lune realizes Verso knew the whole truth but didn't tell them, she lashes out. She feels betrayed. But from Verso's perspective, he just wants to end his tortured existence. Can you really blame him? After one last battle, Renoir agrees to Alicia's plea. Even if it's based on a lie, he wants her to believe. Verso sees the chance and jumps into the Nexus, the junction holding his soul, the faceless kid I saw earlier. No one else can enter without being gomaged. Alicia followed Verso, trying to stop him. Here the path divides. Choosing Alicia makes her the paintress of the canvas, using her power to resurrect everyone, but also puppeteering Verso, locking him into endless suffering. Her final shot, glowing eyes and melting ink, is a chilling hint she'll become her mother. In this ending, it was about preservation and perpetual control. But if Verso succeeds, he releases his soul and everyone else from the canvas. Alicia gomaged in her arms. Esquier and Monaco accepts this, embracing Verso. Ciel understands, though she doesn't fully agree. But Lune, she feels betrayed, again, shooting Verso a death glare before refusing to enter the Nexus. In the final scene, the family accepts Verso's death, letting go and moving forward, saying goodbye to those living in the canvas. This is a bittersweet ending about acceptance and closure. You leave behind a good part, but you know that was a lie. What you did was the right thing. You can't stay stuck in the past, hoping to change things. It only keeps you hurting. Life is like this. People leave or worse happens, beyond your control, no matter how hard you try. The best way to move forward is together. Things won't always go your way, and that's fine. That's life. I said pretty much everything I had to. This game's story is a haunting journey through grief, love, and sacrifice, showing that sometimes letting go is the hardest, but the truest path forward. Top-notch voice acting, beautiful story, immersive graphics, excellent combat mechanics, masterpiece soundtracks, and mediocre minigames. Expedition 33 is my game of the year. With that said, I take my leave. See you later. Peace.
Au lendemain non écrit, sous les